Hey guys, today's Monday, the 1st of 2023, and I wanted to go over the energy, metals, and the dollar. So without any further delay, let's get into it. I figured out what happened to my uranium futures trading view chart. I needed to click on something in regards to contracts, and everything, wabam, just showed up right where it needs to be. So forgive me for that, for my ignorance. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was blaming them, but I take that back. So apologies. I'm sorry, TradingView. You guys rock. So let's get into it. Uranium futures have been holding this trend line pretty good. Even though there's an AD phase, accumulation distribution phase, we finally are breaking out. We got a buy signal right here. We closed at 53. We're somewhere around 53.80. And that's the price number I got to use for my uranium futures. I'm sure it's going to be a little off, but we're kind of in that ballpark. And you know what? The pressure now is to the upside. MACD is positive. As long as we could just start pushing higher, we know that we're above the 45 degree in the uranium spot price, so that's looking good. Targets to the upside, obviously is going to be this 63.80 all the way to this supply zone, which is 65 all the way to 73.10. That's going to be where we're going to probably stall for a little bit, but that looks like that's where it wants to head up to there. Let's go into our energy sector. Let's go over here. Oops. Crude oil. As you can see, we've been in a squeeze place since November the 14th, and it's just been chopping around, and the pressure is nowhere. It's just kind of flat. On the daily, there's weakness. We got a PPS sell signal, but still kind of in the mobile bench. So it's really not that negative, but we have it on the daily, so you can see weakness. But then you look at Friday's candle, it looks like it wants to turn around and now probably wants to go up. So keep an eye on the daily chart to see if we get another positive day. What is that? Is that the first? Actually, yeah, this is today. So if we get another positive day candle, it may probably want to retrace. So keep that on your radar. R Bob, you can see he was in a squeeze plate to the upside, and then we hit this high here, double top, and then it pulled back. And so far, the daily and the weekly are negative. I don't even see anything positive on the daily. So, and this one is worse than crude oil. At least crude oil is in the mobile band, which is chopped. This already broke the mobile band, so it looks like this could be more pressure to the downside. Nat gas, you guys already know, we got a PPS buy signal last week. So the technique is wait for a pullback, dip your toes in, and then it should, in theory, continue pushing higher. Look at the daily, very positive. You can see the squeeze play started April 14th, and it has triggered positive today. So it looks like the pressure is to the upside. So the bears are in panic mode. Heating oil, nothing positive here. This is just going straight down. Nothing everything is just negative, nothing positive in regards to the candle, so I wouldn't be thinking about buying heating oil. If you're short, just continue shorting it. Any pops, just short it. Let's see. Let's go to gold. You can see gold has just been kind of sideways now as of late. This is weekly. And the daily, you can see that we've been holding this 1980. I love the 80s music. And we're in a squeeze play since 419. It looks like on the daily, the pressure is to the downside. So we got FOMC coming Wednesday, so be on alert. It's going to be a volatile, wild, crazy day. So keep your eyes on that. Look at silver sticking its head out. Very positive. I don't know what's going on, but there is a squeeze play set up here, and it started the 27th, where we're already 3 days in. And we got this nice little pop, PPS buy signal. So there's some pressure coming to the upside, so that's good. It's still holding and staying away from this 2470. In regards to heating oil, just kind of consolidating, back and forth, still holding 382. As long as it holds that, it's just probably going to bounce right back up and then, stall somewhere and, either kiss 435 or just kind of, stay around 407, which is the medium point. And you can see that we have, double fail new low here. And it looks like now Friday's and today's candle are looking positive. It's probably going to go right back into the mean here at 407, 408 and just kind of go back and forth, waiting for a break. I would recommend if you're trading copper, put an alert here at 382 and put an alert at 435. Unless you're scalping, then this is your world. But if you want to trend, and want, to go higher, put an alert and see how price action, if it closes above 435 for a whole week, chances are it's going to continue going higher. Palladium, one that I'm watching, you can see that the histograms are going positive. It hit this high, now it's pulling back, kind of, still positive, but, you can see there's a little weakness. It pulled back pretty good. Now it's back in this range of 1333. You can see there was a squeeze play set up here, and then it pulled up, and then now it's kind of like, just kind of going sideways here. As long as we could close above this 1532, that's going to be good because it might do another leg higher. So that could be a good place to put a long position if you're thinking about going long, where it could trigger and then push higher. And you could ride that wave to test 1649. Let's go to the dollar because I always forget the dollar once in a while. So I figure just tackle that real quick. The dollar, I got my eyes on the dollar. I have a target of 98, but it hasn't taken out 100. So FOMC is coming up. I have a funny feeling people are just building a position, and when FOMC comes, they're gonna snap it. So I'm seeing if we could get really close to FOMC on Wednesday around 102, or if they're gonna push it down, and once FOMC kicks in, and if it's gonna explode, I have an alert for 102.23. If it pops right through there, I'm gonna go long, and I'm gonna see what the inverse in regards to the dollar, what they're doing. But I have a funny feeling, man, this thing is gonna either pop and do a squeeze play into May, and then fall down and push into June or something like that. But that's my thoughts on the dollar. So I still have it in there. It's still just choppy back and forth. The mobile band's not positive, so that's why I'm not going long yet. Let's go into natural gas real quick. I got a couple more minutes so far. Look, positive MACD, hockey stick on the monthly. Like that pattern, one of my favorite patterns on the monthly, the nice little hockey stick. And you can see that we're, going away from the bottom, which is like 194 right now. And, it's volatile. The market sentiment, it's at 14. Technically, this month, today is positive, so we'll see how we're going to go there. But so far, we're holding above the 50. This is where the bear camp was, not which is support. I'm only concerned about the linear regression channel. This is kind of going to be resistance, and also this 50%, which is that 248. So there's a lot of resistance up there. Let's look at the volume profile. We can see that we're above both VWAPs. And targets to the upside would be that 252, obviously, and that 254, and even this 262. Let's look at our levels today real quick. You can see this is the level we need to get above. For the daily for today is 241. You see that we're stalling. We're pulling back, so maybe pull back, and when the U.S. opens, maybe now hit it, and then hit all these guys that are short here and trap them, and then push higher, and hopefully test 252. Targets for today to the upside, if we punch through 252, 259, 265 on the daily. If we're going to tank, 229 all the way to 222 and 216 for support. Good thing is we're above the weekly 50, which is 235. And obviously the targets to the upside is 252. Now, for this whole week, anything, if you're playing, the scalping, if you're long, once you get 270, 261, don't get greedy. This is an area where you would probably want to start locking in, your gains for the week. If you're long term, then obviously you're probably thinking that maybe we're going to test 302. So those are the targets you want to keep an eye on. And support on the monthly is 223 on the 50. So we're above that. You can see that the monthly is green. The daily is red because we're below it. And the weekly is flat because we're still kind of close to it. What is the last thing I wanted to show? I'm already almost ending my time. Let's see, maybe the calendar. A couple of things I wanted to show in the calendar. Disregard the times. The time has nothing to do with the analysis. They just default. They just show up. One thing I want to do a correction is that, it says from 5-1 to 5-4, you make some money. But remember, 5-4 is the worst trading day. Is normally down 40 minus 0.40%. So this day probably shouldn't be included on where you make money. Where you make the most money is on the 3rd, which is the biggest up day on regards to trading day. And then on the weekday, you already know, they're down. So I just wanted to make that correction, especially on the timing. Ignore the times. That's nothing to do with the analysis. It's just something with Apple that it just shows there. And the square of 9, I'll end it there. We're right here at 252 high, close to the 194 we did on 414 low. So if we're going to chuck along, we did the 99 low on February the 22nd. So 260 is a good target for, to push here and maybe stall. But if it has some more Momo to it, then 265, which would be the 180, would make sense. 180 degree right there. And if the gods are good to us in heaven, the trading gods, then, 273 is a gift from the trading gods. So those are the numbers I am watching to the upside. Support, obviously 249, 241, and we're right now 236. So 233 would be your support. We're somewhere around here. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you like this video, and I keep you posted on my thoughts on the dollar, the energy sector, and the metals.